Yes, I'm still here, Hollywood. And coming up on today's episode, from unforgettable films to acclaimed television roles, today's guest has carved out a career that spans decades, delivering powerful and deeply human performances along the way. You know his face, you know his voice, and you definitely know one of his most beloved characters, a role that stole hearts alongside one of the biggest stars of our time. This is Still Here Hollywood. I'm Steve Kmetko. Join me with today's guest, Bubba from Forrest Gump, Mykelti Williamson. If this is your first time watching or listening to Still Here Hollywood, what took you so long? Even if you're a longtime fan, I have a favor to ask. If you feel it in your heart, please like and follow us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Or if you watch on YouTube, please subscribe. And with both, it would be great if you rated and commented on your favorite episodes. Thank you so much. And now, on with the show. Mykelti, or T. Thanks for coming in.
To friends. If you consider yourself someone who would always respect me and be a friend, you're allowed to call me T.
Why wouldn't I do that?
Amen. So you may call me T, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you may call me Steve.
Okay, I thought you were going to say 24/7. I thought I was all the way in with you. Like, 24/7, man, hit me up.
There's not much else you can do with my name that hasn't been done already. Yeah. Tell me, one of the things I want to know is, do you still get a free pass at Bubba Gump?
I've never been. You speaking of the restaurant?
Right.
I've never been to one in my life.
Any particular reason? Do you like shrimp?
Absolutely. Well, no, not necessarily. I think it's good. I've had it, but I don't really eat it. You know, I was working.
Right,
and creating, and I wanted to come up with something that would land on people and motivate people to laugh, to cry, to be moved, to see what war does, the kind of people you end up missing when wars land on people that didn't expect it, right?
You sound like you're speaking from personal experience.
Well, I'm speaking from an American, African experience. You know, and it's a real one, man. I mean, I don't go around preaching about how black I am. People can feel me, you know? But but I'm not able to be bought because I'm already sold to the God I serve. You feel me? So I can't be bought, man. And sometimes people take that like it's arrogance. It's not. I don't put a lot of pressure on my representatives. They'll tell you I'm like in the trenches working. I have relationships everywhere, personally, which enhances their ability to do their job. We're not competing. I think one of the things that I would recommend to actors, if a working actor asks me for advice, stay prayed up and maintain your relationships. It's vital. And the best way to do that is to love on people. Some people I love real close right here. And some people I love as far away from me as I can get them. And I mean that, but I still love them, but they got to go. I have got to give you the gift of distance because it's a gift to both of us, because now we can maintain a relationship. When that person gets themselves together, if they do, it'll return. And if it doesn't, they're off on their journey somewhere else and I'm on my path, right? So I really don't waver. I don't have a bunch of girlfriends. I have one girlfriend. She's a 1953 Chevy pickup truck. And her name is Girlfriend.
And she's faithful.
And she's faithful just like my wife, Sandra.
There we go.
Yeah. So keep your life right. And everything will work out. And I've not taken big paydays. Now, we'll get back to the restaurant. The only reason I've never been was because I don't feel I was properly invited. Sometimes when you invite someone somewhere, it should be, I won't say respectful. I'll say it should be highly considerate of what the possibilities could be with a union, like you and I meeting today. There's tremendous possibility and upside here. There's value here, there's value here. But if you invite someone, if I invite you somewhere just to exploit you and buy you a meal and fly you out, well, that's pimp game. That's really not a high level of intelligence. That's appetite is what that is. And I understand that. So I've never been to a restaurant because I've never been properly invited where I could participate in something that I helped create, because what I brought to the screen was not on the page. It wasn't even close. When I did Gump, I had 2 students come in for the same role, Bubba, and I coached each of them. And I explained to them why I thought, and they said, nah, coach, nah, coach T, no, I'm not feeling that. I said, okay, I apologize. Let's go where you really feel it. And they did. And we shaped it, and they went in, no callback. Second guy, same thing. No, I don't want to do it that way. I'll do it my way. I said, okay, great. No callback. I called my students. I said, hey, man, listen, I want you guys both on the phone at the same time. I'd like to go in on this role. So you guys didn't get a call back. I'm going to reach out to these cats, man, and just, old school, try my shot. They said, okay. I did. I called. The casting person said, I won't say casting. The message I got from my agent was, they don't know who you are. He just said they, right? So I said, they who? Right? Because I'm one of their brothers. I stick my nose in it if necessary. So he said, they don't know you. I said, they just saw 2 scrubs I'm trying to teach. What are you talking about? I've got credits. I'm with you guys. What's going on? So I called the New York office and I spoke with my agent at the time, Harry, right? I'll just call him Harry. He's a wonderful man, by the way. It's Harry Abrams. So I called Harry. I said, Harry, he's in New York. I said, this is Mykelti. I said, listen, I don't bug you a lot, but I know I can bug you anytime I want to. But I'm bugging you because I need you to consider something. And I told him, I said, if I can't get in on this and 2 scrubs can, I don't have a choice but to find another place to be. Harry, you feel me? And he said, Mykelti, I'm with you 100%. And Harry Abrams stepped in and I got a call, right? Nina Pakula was my agent. I actually went to Harry with Nina and Martin Lesack, right? So I get over there, Nina calls me and she says, hey, Mykelti. I said, hey, what's up, Nina? Tell Arthur I said, hey, right? And the dogs, right? She says, you're going in on this thing on a Saturday. I don't think you're being taken seriously. I think it's being done just to appease you and keep you from leaving the agency. She said, when you go in there, kill him. She said, it's not on our side. Listen, this guy really needs to get in. They at least record him on tape. They didn't. When I got there, it was a Saturday. Janitor let me in. Had a great session with an assistant. And forgive me for not remembering the name. I was young. This is 30 years ago now, right? So I go in, I audition, and she says, "What is your name?" I said, you know my name, man. That's cold, right? So she starts laughing. I'm sorry. So I said, can you find the camera somewhere? So she found the camera down the hall, made a phone call. The janitor let us in there, and the ladies let us, her relationship, right? See, this is why you love on people. We're in somebody else's office using their stuff, right? And so, because everybody didn't have cameras like that at the time. It was new technology, pretty much. So they put me on tape. The next thing I hear is, Mr. Robert Zemeckis would like to match you up with Tom Hanks. I said, okay. Do you know Tom Hanks? I said, I met Tommy Hanks. I know Rita. I've worked with Rita, but I've met Tommy, right? He said, Tommy? I said, well, you call him Tom if you want to, but that's Tommy Hanks to me. I got love for him, right? So we go in, they match me up with Hanks, and Tommy's sitting across the table from me, and he's kicking me under the table like how much he liked it. He was like, just like kick, like, dude, you're killing it. You're under the, and he finally, after we were done, he looked at me, he says, oh my gosh. And that was it. That was it, man. I got the job, and thank God, I was persistent.
Do you know what he was saying thank God about?
Yes.
Tell me.
We had found each other. He could see the value in both of us and what that exchange was going to be. Just like when I walked in here, it's like your audience missed like a whole bunch of the real me because of the way I enter a room and da-da-da-da-da. That's why I was saying, man, next time I come in here, y'all better be rolling when I hit the door, bruh. Because you'll miss it, Because that part's done. I'm not a performative guy. That part's done. Y'all missed that part. But we'll do it again.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Tom and Rita are terrific people. I've encountered them on a number of occasions. In fact, one time it was at the film festival in Deauville, France. And those were always kind of odd situations for me because I am an American, and a lot of the people that they're bringing in are from other parts of the world who don't know who the hell I am.
Right.
Tom and Rita were at that film festival, and at one point, Tom said, "Rita, look, somebody from home." And he brought her over. Nobody was bringing anybody over to me, And of all people, Tom Hanks, geez. He's a terrific guy. Do you think you learned anything from him?
I think we both learned a tremendous amount from each other. We entered the relationship. Actors are always a little cautious. What kind of guy is this guy? Who's this guy? What kind of guy is this guy? And you see a person's humanity in their art. You can see it. I tell people all the time, this is my ministry. This is not really my gig. This is my ministry, man. The music that I do, my songwriting, my directing, it's my ministry. So when kindred spirits find each other, it's oh my gosh, bonanza, And then when you find out there's levels to this, a person really capable of loving you as much as they love themselves, that's me. I can love you as much as I love me. I don't care what you do. It ain't my cheese. You know what I'm saying? You do whatever you want to do. Sometimes I want to look at it, but, I got love for you. But Hanks knows a kindred soul when he saw one, as did I. We helped each other tremendously. The work you saw us do, we all did together, including Gary Sinise, Bob Zemeckis. It just, the list goes on. Every individual on the set would help us by encouraging us, being moved by us, and we move them first. If you move the human beings on your set, you'll move anybody, anywhere in the world.
I would like to backtrack just a little because something you said caught my ear. And you said what you brought to the role was not on the page. What was it? What did you bring? What do you feel confident in?
Well, you're familiar with the show Gilligan's Island.
Yes.
The relationship.
A 3-hour tour, right?
Right, a 3-hour tour. Right. The relationship between the skipper and Gilligan. I'll protect your little buddy. That was the version in the book. Big, strong guy takes Forrest under his wing. I got your back, homie. I got your back, my friend. Right? Hanks and I came up with the brothers thing, right? Mm. What's the matter with your lip? Gary Sinise line, total improv. Because he and I were going for it. Because if I catch you slipping as an actor, I'm knocking you off the stage because you don't belong here. So Gary Sinise belongs here. There are many of us who belong here. This is our domain. This is what we do. And there's some people who are getting better and will eventually do it at the same level we do it at.
Back with more in a moment. If you'd like to be more involved with us at Still Here Hollywood, you definitely can. Just visit patreon.com/stillherehollywood. You can support us for as little as $3 a month. You can get our episodes a day before they post anywhere else. You can see what guests will be coming up and submit questions for them. You can even tell us what stars you want us to have on as guests. You'll see what goes on before and after the episode, plus exclusive behind-the-scenes info, pics, video, and more. Again, that's patreon.com/stillherehollywood. Was Sally Field on the set at all when you were there?
Yeah. Well, I remember seeing Sally. No, we spent time with Sally in rehearsal. We sat for a full, I won't tell you what period of time, but it was an extensive period of time. We needed it. And we sat in a room and read the script with Bob Z, right? Everybody, we were all there, the core group, the writers, director, actors. And we worked and we talked about it. We commented on one another's journey, the journey we felt, where we thought we could possibly go with this journey. And then that would take my character to this journey. And if that were a possibility, and you talk about journeys, but every hero's got two. There's the obstacles you see on the outside, and it's the internal journey. Every character's got two. Every human being has two journeys, right? And we forget that, or we haven't been taught properly. And so you miss that. But when you find yourself with a group of, I've got a film coming out soon called The Last Rodeo. It's opening Memorial Day.
Oh, coming out very soon.
Yes.
This month.
This month, 2025. When you see the kindred spirit between The Last Rodeo and what we captured when we made Forrest Gump, you'll feel it. You'll feel it. You're going to be moved by this movie. You're going to laugh, you're going to cry, and you're going to share it. You're going to tell people because it's a really good place to go. And so we're very excited about it, The Last Rodeo.
You give me the impression that that doesn't happen a lot, where a crew, cast, sit around and discuss beforehand what you're going to do with these.
Right. The budgets, because our industry there's a sector of our industry that is necessary and is extremely corporate. They haven't fully understood everything that we really understand about making movies and how to make the best movies, but they look at numbers and they chase numbers. You got to chase hearts, man. If you chase numbers, you're going to miss it every now and then. That's like, what number? Nah, man, stop gambling, messing up movies, burning up people's time, pouring stuff on people in audiences. Stop doing that and bet on the human heart. And stop trying to reprogram everybody to stuff. Stop. Leave people alone. Tell good stories and stop playing with people. And that's me. That's why I make the movies I make and why I don't make the ones that I don't make.
Where did you learn this?
My mom taught me. My mom was always there for me. And my mom got me in the entertainment industry. She actually is very instrumental in me being as capable as I am in this industry. Yeah. But I learned it at home through Southern parents with Southern American values, with very specific African American tribal family values. And I still emanate those. I still walk in those. You know, it's like I told you earlier, I can't be bought, man. I can't really explain it, but I cannot be bought. I'm just not, like I said, it's because I don't serve man. I'm in service of man. And there's a difference, you know? Yeah, that's it.
Are you happy doing what you do?
Absolutely. Listen, man.
I knew the answer to that question before I asked it.
No, man, listen, don't get me started. Because you go, what planet does he live on? His life's that good. I'll just say, you know what? I feel blessed. I'll just keep it simple. Yes, I feel very blessed.
You're not going to share with us.
Well, sometimes you can overshare.
Yeah, this is true. Too much information. TMI.
Yeah, TMI. You know,
Did the role in Forrest Gump, did it limit you in what you wanted to do? Were you typecast?
well, there was an attempt to typecast me, but it didn't work. Right? It can't. How could it? Right? If I won't allow it. So, when the Gump was released, I hired a publicist and gave it a shot, right? And so the reason I hired a publicist after Gump was because people thought I actually looked like that with a lip. Like the industry's perception was that was the way this guy's face was distorted. I've been in this business for years, right? And so I had to hire a publicist to take me out and tie me to different things, Gump related, so people could see the difference. They go, oh, that's the guy who, but the money I made on Gump, I spent all of it on the publicist to keep my career from going in the dirt. Cause it was headed there quick,
really?
Man, brother. There's a very popular black publication, I won't call the name, told my manager, I'm sitting on the phone with my manager, Lori Gilbert, and they told Lori on the speakerphone, because we strategizing and we working and I just lay in the cut. This black publication said, oh no, he is not attractive. And I'm sitting there like, yes I am. I ain't hard to look at, right? But I'm sitting there listening, and Lori's trying to navigate it, and I just went, no, and she...
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, no. So a lot of people have missed it because they didn't open the gate in time. But everybody gets it. Some people get it now, some people get it later, and some people get it too late, like the last minute. Oh, I'd like to have a second chance. Nah. You get it now, you get it later, or you get it too late. But everybody gets it eventually. You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody's going to get it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you like watching on screen or on television? Are there certain people that you have developed a real appreciation for?
Absolutely.
Care to share?
Yeah. Every actor I see, I enjoy watching them. Some are green, they're on their way. And some are so surprisingly wonderful that you can't anticipate. We're all trained actors. We all have a technique. And people fresh off technique who've not really fully learned how to live through the tools, right? You hope they get there because you see the potential. And I see potential in everybody. Even the person who's maybe a musician, a rap musician. I'm a musician. And they want to do this. Why not? But do it right. Here's my life philosophy on the entertainment industry. I teach this to my students. The etymology of the word entertain means to enter and hold captive. When you contain something, you hold it captive. When you retain information, it's held captive. When you're being detained, etc. Entertain. To enter and hold captive. That's powerful. It's dangerously powerful because the people we enter and hold captive have no idea of the skill sets we have to take them anywhere we want. And with that comes a tremendous responsibility. I tell my students, do not ever abuse this. You make a fair exchange with your art. I'll play a villain. Well, can you? No, I'm not a squeaky clean character. Oh, I only wanted you. I can drink milk. I'm not that. I can't stand milk, dude. Right?
Or shrimp.
Yeah, I'm not a shrimp guy. Not really. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
I like it, but it's just not something I do a lot of. And anyway, I can go on and on and on, man. I just, you know.
I'm counting on it.
All right. So hopefully I answered your question.
Oh yeah. What is the favorite role you've ever done? What's the favorite job you had in Hollywood?
Role, I'd say all of them.
All of them?
Absolutely. Yeah. These are human beings. Everybody's somebody's child. So even if I play a villain, you'll see the realization that they're blowing it. You'll see it.
Okay.
And their self-realization that they're blowing it. So, yeah, but that, you know, that's just kind of the way I like to do my work.
You've mentioned students several times now. Do you actually teach in a brick and mortar school, or is this something you do in your free time?
Well, it has to be, I have to carve out a window. I have to design a window for that. But being able to be remote, I don't have to do my workshop. I take 10 working actors. I know they know how to get a job. They got that part down. I don't have to teach that. And I teach them character. They each have the same monologue. It's called the character workshop. That's my workshop. They all have the same monologue, 2 different characters, word for word. You may not change the language. Live the language, right? And then I did it once in Hollywood at a theater. I won't name the theater, but right off Sunset, and brought some of the casting industry in, and they watched 20 different human beings live through the same exact words, and they hung around after that. I'll just say that, right? Because they know it's possible. They know it too, you know. Right.
And how did you get into directing?
I was mentored by a gentleman by the name of Mike Jones, who was a news director when I was a young man. I was in high school. My mom landed a job she's an accountant by trade. She landed a job, certified accountant, at ABC television on Prospect Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Been there, know it.
Right. And prior to that, she was involved in other businesses, but she worked her way up from like working in a laundry, washing towels, putting herself through school, and then she get landed at this job at ABC, right? Single mom. She meets people there because when you know my mother, you know me, so you know my mom, right? So my mom is outgoing, she's fun, she's really smart, and she's not to be played with, just like her son. I'm not, you know. Like I said, I give people the gift of distance. So anyway, she met Mike Jones and would talk about her family and her kids, and because she was teaching us how to cook over the phone. She's at work. And she'd leave the instructions, we write it down, and we would put this in the pot, that in the pot, this in the pot, because we were latchkey kids, right? My sister, my siblings and I. And then we called mom at work. But, you know, let her know we're home, safe from school. Okay, mom, I just put the onions in. Okay, now baby, do this. And so she taught us how to cook over the phone, right? So she met the cat, Mike Jones, a news director. Mike Jones met me. I went to a screening. And she said, you have to meet my son. So I met him and we talked. And he said, I hear you want to be a director. I said, yes, sir. He said, but you're an actor. I said, yes, sir. He said, how serious are you? I said, it's everything for me. I'll figure it out though, you know, but I just don't like wasting my time with stupid stuff, right? And so he said, okay. So he started mentoring me. Another gentleman, a photographer, Miguel Villegas, right? From West Hollywood. I don't know where Miguel Villegas is today, but he taught me camera, still and cinema, right? And so I had different mentors, Gene Evans and on and on and on. But people poured into me, and that's the only way I got to where I am today. is like you pouring into me. This invitation. This is very cool. I told you, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
We're appreciative of you being here, too. Who's been the most surprising co-star you've worked with over the years?
Well, I won't say most, but I'll name like a top 2 or 3.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
My dear friend and sister Angela Bassett. My dear friend Al Pacino. My dear friend and brother Denzel. And my dear brother Delroy Lindo. I would say those cats, and I would include Glenn Turman. I actually learned from Glenn Turman. I tell people he taught me so much, but not directly. He was like, okay, run to the store for me. Do this, do that. And then I would get to hang around him and listen. And that's where I learned. And I watched, and then he would explain things. And I was like, so, yeah, but that,
I had several good experiences with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
He's just the greatest. And he takes the time, much like you, to believe that you're really interested in what he has to say, which I was every time. One year when, every year when they announce the Oscar nominations, this is long before he had ever won one, but he was invited to, make the early morning announcements on television.
Right.
And then he came over and did an interview with me, and he was so good and gracious. And then there have been a number of other things I interviewed him for.
Yes.
And he's just a really cool guy.
Yes, he is.
And his wife is too.
Oh, come on, Pauletta, come on, man, yeah.
And talented too. And you know what? I'll tell you an experience I had recently. Not that recently, and now I can't remember the name of the movie.
This is with D?
With his son.
Okay. Oh, which one? Which?
I'm not certain, but I'll tell you why.
Actor, director.
Actor.
Okay. All right.
That's
That's John David.
That's it.
Right.
I was watching a movie that he was in, and I didn't relate at all to the name at first. And then I started watching a little more closely because he drew me in, and then all of a sudden my ear went, that sounds like Denzel. And then I waited around, of course, for the credits, and the kid's last name is Washington, and I'm like, oh, aha.
Right.
It runs in the family.
Yes, it does.
He's very good.
Now, listen to. Here's an inside nugget, and I'm sure that the Washington family won't mind me sharing it. I was on Chicago PD. I'm a director on. I've directed for Dick Wolf on Chicago PD, and some other things. But my friend and brother, another director, brings in Olivia. He says, "This is Dee's." I said, "Man, I know her from church, man." So she's sitting in the lobby. So I see Olivia, and I just did like this because other actors are watching, But when she saw me, I just went on in because I can hug her inside, away from all these. I don't want to throw their game, right?
Right.
But that's the actor in me, so I'm aware of it. So I said, I didn't hug you out there because I don't want to throw nobody off, thinking. I said, nah, it's I know you got it. So I hugged her. Man, she crushed it. All the other actors, we said, can you please stay? So Olivia hung out, and it was Eric LaSalle and I.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Eric and I just we pulled to the side, and we stepped to the side, and it's like, man, she's amazing. She blew all the competition away. Chicago's got some really good actors, but this group of actors, they were very performative, and Olivia is, man, I'm so happy you see how amazing John David is. Wait until you see Olivia.
Okay.
Because that whole family's just like the truth.
Yeah.
Malcolm, his debut as a director. Did you see The Piano Lesson?
Yes.
Man, come on. What? No nominee? Oh, really? Okay, man. All right. Y'all need a new weed man if you missed that one. Either put down the weed or get you a new weed person.
Well, this is,
That's
this
crazy.
is not the kind of business where honesty and forthrightness is
Yeah, but
commonplace.
But don't be that blatantly off the mark. It's like anybody can see excellence. How did that end up with a nomination and not that? That's the part I don't get.
You
man.
can't, but you can't ask yourself those
Right.
questions because there's no rational
There's no
explanation.
rational right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a shift in the Academy this upcoming award season.
They started nominating 10 movies per category, about.
Right.
Which one? Which?
Well, there's
shift are
an
you talking about?
interesting shift that just came down to the membership. No longer may you vote on an
Unless
artist
you've
in a
seen everything.
Unless you've seen everything.
I read that.
within that category.
Right.
All right. So now people will do their work, and they won't. I think it's going to help us miss less than we've missed in the past, because some of that is intellectually dishonest. Oh, I'll vote, but I didn't see everything, but I'll vote. Okay. But it's fixed, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. What are you looking forward to right now, apart from the opening of your new movie?
The future.
Anything in particular?
Yeah, just the journey of humanity. There's a brand I have a lot of confidence in. It's the Angel Studios team that behind distributing our film, The Last Rodeo. Solid people, bringing amazing content. That's the future I'm excited about. Is that partnership moving forward? Neil McDonough, the McDonough Company, Independent Vision, my company.
It doesn't have anything to do with rodeos, does it? I have to ask.
Absolutely, it does.
Oh, it does.
It's professional bull riders.
I watch them on Saturday mornings on CBS.
On PBR, right?
Yes.
Right. As do I. Well, this, just in a nutshell, the journey's about a busted up 50-something-year-old bull rider, Neil McDonough. When I say busted up, bad back, just knee, just don't ever look at another bull as long as you live, right? Has become a bit of a recluse, turned his back on his best friend after his wife passed, on the outs with his daughter, loves his grandson like there's no tomorrow. The only child, only grandson. Neil McDonough finds out his grandson, Joe finds out his grandson needs a brain operation. That's $250,000. Where's the old busted up 50-something-year-old bull rider going to get it? Well, I'm going to have one last rodeo. In order to achieve it, you got to figure out a way to navigate your relationship with your daughter. You got to save your grandson with everything you got. And the best way for you to get there is your best friend you turned your back on, Charlie. You got to suck it up and do what you got to do to save your grandson. And he has to suck it up. He has to deal with his journey with his daughter. And we're doing it to save his grandson. It's a powerful film. John Avnet is our director. Kip Conweiser's also producer. John, producer, writer, producer, director. And Neil McDonough, Sarah Jones. You'll get a chance to enjoy Sarah Jones, the amazing Sarah Jones. And Chris McDonald blessed us and came aboard. And he's just fantastic all the way around.
Well, the idea of it, I'll use a term the kids use nowadays, giving me the feels. It's
Yeah.
It feels like it could be very moving.
Yeah. Moving, exciting. If
Scary.
You like, scary. If you like cowboy fights and stuff, we got all that good stuff. But you can rest assured when you get there, we're not going to pour stuff all over you and your family. come and see The Last Rodeo. I'm telling you, it's the way human beings, they really want to make good movies, makes movies.
What do you do for fun?
I just keep walking, man. I just get up. Sometimes I play a little harmonica. Sometimes I play some percussion. And sometimes I just go away, grab my bride, because I married my dream girl, and we go away. Or I jump in, she and I jump in girlfriend, and we take girlfriend. My girlfriend takes us to the beach, and the 53 Chevy. So, but that's me, man. That's, I try to keep it local. I stick around, hug on my mom, my kids. All three of my daughters are here, They're amazing. Maya, the baby. Nikki Sky, that's our middle. And Phoenix. Yeah. I call her Coconut.
Why?
Because when she was born, she had the most perfect, beautiful, round little head, and it was like a little baby coconut. And I just kissed her on the top of her coconut, and then I said, "Hey, Coconut," and it just stuck. So she's my coconut.
Do you still call her that today?
Yeah, I do.
And does she appreciate it?
Don't you try it?
No, I won't. No.
Oh, she's extremely assertive. She's intelligent. She's kind, but she's tough. And she's a young producer. Phoenix Williamson she produced a spot for Puma.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she just asked for advice. She grew up in it, so she asks for advice. I give it to her, and then she executes. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all that way. Yeah.
Do you have a role or project that you worked on that fans rarely ask you about?
Yeah, I think there's a film I did with my brother Kiefer Sutherland and Brad Merman called Truth or Consequences, New Mexico.
Which is the actual name of a place.
Right. But that's because there was what we were told when we were actually filming around Truth or Consequences is its name came about as a result of that show and that channel being able to, that's the best show they could get at any time of day was Truth or Consequences. And everything else came through like garbage.
Yeah.
But Truth or Consequences came through. So they just named it, well, at least we have Truth or Consequences. So that's what I'm told. That's what the locals told me.
I'd not heard that story.
Yeah.
I traveled there with my parents. One of the things my parents used to do is pile us in the car and drive us around the country.
Oh, yeah. Station wagon?
No.
Okay. Car.
Probably a 53 Chevy.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I was born in 53, so it's a good chance.
Yes, yeah.
What's been the most creatively fulfilling?
The people I work with. Because they're so creative. They inspire me, man. Everybody inspires me. They do. It's just and watching the evolution of cinema. That's inspiring to me. I remember film, right? Videotape.
Right.
1 inch, 2 inch, 3/4, then the VHS, beta, super
Reel to
beta,
reel.
reel to reel. Yeah, all of
Those
that.
reels were like
Yeah.
huge,
Right.
thick.
Right. But just the evolution of where we are now, it's inspiring for me because there's no reason to ever sit still and oxidate. You know what I'm saying? You don't need the oxidation, brother.
That's what I do best. Is there anything, going back to Tom Hanks for a second, is there anything that you encountered backstage or off screen that his fans would be surprised to learn about him? Without speaking out of school or anything?
No. He's as kind as you think he is. He's not faking it in front of the camera. He's the same. And maybe that would surprise people.
Maybe.
But yeah, because they would expect him to be a, like a phony, like a slice of bologna kind of dude, but he's not. He's not. Tommy Hanks is the real deal, as is Gary Sinise. What you see is what you get.
I interviewed Gary when shortly after Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And he's from Chicago, so.
Yeah.
And Steppenwolf Theater, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's coming up for you?
The Last Rodeo.
Apart from that.
Right. On the television, on the streaming side, we just, thanks to my team, I'm at Paradigm and more Metavoy. So my whole team presented an opportunity. We were able to execute it and set it up. And we're going to do a show called Dark Matter. So I'll be on Dark Matter this season. I won't tell you more. Just tune in. Dark Matter.
All right.
Yeah.
What
as an actor.
Where will it be? Where will we find it?
Well, Dark Matter is streaming. You can find just search it online, and you'll find it. All right. Yeah.
I kind of like that idea now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but it used to be when it was just a few networks.
Right.
You sat down when they felt like showing you.
Right.
And now you call the shots.
Exactly.
I like that.
I like that a lot. It gives audiences a lot more control. It's like, it just gives people a lot more control over the kind of content they want to see.
And when they see it.
And when they see it. Right. They can just put it in a folder, stack it up, just check it. I'm going to watch it and, get a reminder, and then off you go, But, and I like that. See, that's the kind of stuff that gets me excited. Is people can now take you anywhere on the planet and enjoy you anywhere on the planet.
Or off the planet, outer space too.
Yeah, and outer space as well. I was a fan a couple of days ago. I was in Provo, Utah. I was with the Angel Studios family.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a gentleman there who did my Spanish voiceovers for all the movies that I'm in, including Forrest Gump. And I won't say his name because I don't think he's that kind of person. He's like, man. But it was a treat for me. So we took pictures and now we're in contact. But I didn't know. I'm like, this is the cat that does all my movies. He can Spanish. He can sound like me in Spanish. Same timbre in my voice. Yeah, it blew me away. I was like, wow, man. Pretty cool. So there's a lot to be excited about.
Can I ask, is there a significance to the necklace you're wearing?
I rock beads from different parts of the world, and I keep it simple, and I'll go right to Tribes and purchase beads. And if the beads have a story, great. If they go, no, we just make them. I just see people making them. I'm like, okay, well, I'll take one you just made, right? And then here you go. And I'm not the guy that's going to rock the diamonds and the floss. I'm like, I think we're doing too much. I think we're telling people we're endangering our own lives because people are different and they may not appreciate it or they may see it as an opportunity. These are beads, man. I usually buy two. So if you want this one, there's no problem. I have one more.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right, yeah.
If I ever need a gift. What's the most physically demanding role you've ever taken on?
That's a very good question because they've all got their challenges. I mean, Gump getting in military shape, marching with Captain Dale Dye and staying out in the woods overnight and this dude waking you up. All right, you're like, dude, we're in a movie, man. What's wrong with you? But that's what we did. I signed up for it. I was like, wait, I'm not quitting before this dude quit. I ain't gonna quit before this fool quit. So I guess I'm signed up. I guess I'm good. So we did it. Sinise and I did it, right? And it was unfortunately for Hanks, he had to go and do other stuff during the night. after we were done, this was pre-production. After rehearsal, he had to go do other things. And so he would join us like sometimes. But they were like, man, that cat was spinning plates. I admire Tommy Hanks, man. He gets it done. And when he shows up, he's present. And when he's gone, you miss him. He's such a big old slice of love, man. It ain't even funny. You know what I mean? So, but we had a challenging time getting ready for that, but it was fun. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did realize I needed to stay in better shape to do my own stunts. I was on a project, and the director wanted my character to jump over a 4-foot fence, chasing someone, and run up a hill driveway. So I was like, cool. So I took off and did it before he could say anything. And then I came back and I met the stunt person, because they had the stunt guy there, right? So he looked like me. He resembled body type, but he was larger than I, and wasn't muscle. And when this boy jumped over that fence and ran up the hill and his booty was jiggling, I said, no, I got it, man. I got it, bro. Trust me. I don't want my booty jiggling like that on TV, on screen, on a 40, 50-foot screen. Look at the big old choo-choo. I said, no, man. So I knew I had to stay in good enough shape to step in if I needed to. But that was probably the funny moment that motivated me to stay in pretty good shape.
What does your workout regimen look like today?
Stretch this morning. When I'm done here, I'm going to go for a chiropractic adjustment, because every time I travel, I realign, and then I get back to my lifestyle, and then spending some time with my mama, working on my mama's house. That's so therapeutic. So I'll stop for an adjustment, and then I'm with mama after that.
You won't need readjusting after that?
No. And I rock a back brace. Nothing's wrong with my back, but I rock a back brace and knee supports when I'm working, because I'm up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, I saw a cameraman hit the floor, wooden floor. He would go down, it would go boom, and you could feel it resonate through the floor. And I was like, he couldn't be on a cinema set, because if actors are talking and you go boom, somebody else, they'll find somebody who doesn't go boom. It's just that simple if you can't do it. So I pulled him aside and I said, hey, man, can I share something with you? I said, ask me for some advice. I said, then I'll give it to you. And he asked me. I said, okay, you asked me, right? And I told him. I said, if you want to do cinema, either get a knee pad that silences the boom, but I felt you dropped here, and then you went here, you dropped here, and then you moved over here and you dropped there. That was your third position when such and such was on the stage. He went, yeah. I said, yeah, I know. You were boom, boom, boom. So fix it. He said, thank you. But that's just how I roll, man. You know? It's like, if I have something that'll help you, I'm going to give it to you. I'm
surprised the audio people didn't say something to him.
Well, I don't know.
Everybody has their
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We'll be back in a moment. Are you still asked to do your shrimp monologue?
Every now and then somebody has too much to drink.
Okay, I'm sober.
And all kind of stuff comes out of their mouth. I'm like, no, what's wrong with you? It's like, I was with Richard Pryor years ago, and somebody came up to Richard and did a Richard Pryor joke. And Richard looked at him, and then Richard just turned around and looked at us like. And I feel like that when people come up and take my material, because there were really only 5 different types of shrimp in the film, right? In the script. Something like that, 4 or 5. And so it wasn't a big deal. But Bob Z and I got to talking, and I said, what you think about Bubba just being a shrimping fool? He said, sure, why not? I said, okay. Just loves shrimp. He said, okay. I said, all right, I got it. First day we started shooting, we shot the bus scene. That was the first time they put Tommy and I together. The first thing we shot together was that scene, right? Bob Z designed that. Steve Starkey, those guys put that together, right? So when I did the routine for the character, I had about 40 in my mind. I'd been studying it for a couple of weeks because Bob Z said, yeah, you can make him just a shrimping fool. I said, all right, you got it. And we started going, and I kept going. I gave about 15, and I stopped. And then Bob Z said, is it that many in the script? People said, no, but boy, that is hella funny, right? They were roaring. So I said, you could tell when you land on audiences because you're going to land on your crew first. They were on the floor. So then Bob Z was like, okay, great. All right, Michael, just do the shrimping thing. I said, okay, all right. So I would do it and stick it on the back of other things, right? And we stitched it, all navigated with Bob Z, of course. But we stitched it in there, and people just really enjoy it to this day. But every now and then somebody will come up. I used to get prawns sent to my table. And I go, tell them come on out. I give them a hug, and give them the prawns, thanks, man, and then photo op, and then I'm out. I don't do autographs. I do photographs. I saw some children get hurt one time rushing to get my autograph, and the adults crushed them. And it landed on me so profoundly. I was so hurt that I autographed for the kids, and I said, these are the last autographs you guys are getting them. I may rarely do them, but you all got my last autographs, okay? They said, okay. And off they went. And I was done with it. And but I take pictures. But sometimes paparazzi try to be slick. They'll bring your picture in the frame so they can like lie to people and autograph it later and cheat. So I'm like, you can't bring that in the photo, man. Come on, you take a picture with me, but don't bring a Bubba Gump hat, nothing. Just you and me. Let's take a picture. We ain't advertising nothing. And then I'm good. But there's always someone looking to try to make $1. But I think it's better when you make $1 in consideration of other people and with their participation as opposed to as a result of their exploitation. You know, I think we exploit the art, but not people. I think we get the best we can out of art and story. For me, the people say, what's your approach? As an actor, for me, the script is the star. If the script is the star and you respect it like it's the star, and you want to make it look good and look like real humanity, then script is the star, not Mykelti Williamson, not whomever. No, man, script. And then you land on audiences and they go, man, we love what you're doing. Hey, my family, we saw you. Is it okay if we come over? Absolutely. Jump up, take a picture. That's what I love about these phones now. You take pictures with people right there. You don't, because I don't autograph. And so, but it's a privilege and an honor to do the work we do. Like I said, as an entertainer, to enter and hold captive is a tremendous responsibility. And that is to give the audience the best exchange, because their monetary exchange is representative of their time.
And it costs more and more every time you go to the movies.
Exactly. So the last thing I want people to feel is like they had stuff just poured all over them. It's like, oh, yeah. I thought I was escaping. Just give me 2 hours.
You mentioned early on that what was on the screen was not necessarily on the page that you were given originally.
Right.
What did you change? Or what did you add?
Well, the humanity. It's when I came in, there was something different I wanted to do. I forgot to mention when I went in on the audition, I stuck my lip with tissue, wet tissue, and so that's part of what helped. But what I add is the humanity, the journey. I told you every hero's got 2 journeys, right? So we map those out as a collective with directors and writers, and then you take people on that journey. And that, for me, that's my hot button. That's what keeps me doing it. Is I have a passion to do this work. Like I said, it's my ministry.
It shows.
Yeah.
And besides which, everybody talks about Marlon Brando sticking stuff in his cheeks to get the Godfather.
The Godfather. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and and that's what did it for him.
Right. Right.
Of course, he was an incredible actor.
Yeah, that too. That part. Yes, sir.
What was it like to go from an ensemble like Forrest Gump to more intense dramas like Heat or Con Air?
You're talking about Michael Mann and Jerry Bruckheimer now. Giants. Friends. You're on a journey. Every time you're around Michael Mann or Jerry Bruckheimer, you're going to learn a lot if you remain a sponge. They do expect you to contribute, but you contribute best when you're aware of what other people do and when you're not blowing it. You know what I mean? When you're enhancing what it is they do. There's a reason Michael Mann is top shelf. His stuff is way up top, as is Jerry's, and but I learned a lot working with those gentlemen. That's what I'd say.
When did you first come to Hollywood?
I'm from what's called South Los Angeles, not South Central, South Los Angeles. That's where I grew up. I was an Air Force kid. We finally settled in California, Los Angeles, and I've been here since, ever since. But I think being raised by Southern parents is something that I cherish, and I try and infuse it in all my characters. Just a little bit of that Southern guy, whether it's a dangerous Southern guy or it's like a Bubba Blue type Southern guy. Yeah.
What's the most meaningful fan encounter or message you've received?
Thank you. And I would say equal to that is when people can actually say my name. Then I know they've been paying attention. If they start that Mykelti, all those other, and I'm like, my name is simple. It's Mykelti. And my name, I just did a legal name change because this journey of life that I was on, my mom left the South when I was a very young guy because she was threatened. And so we changed our names around quite a lot to avoid some folks that thought my mother talked too much and had too big of a mouth and need to be put in her place. So we left the South, and my mom moved us around quite a lot and made a new life for herself with some name changes as well. And here we are, But unfortunately, we had to flee the South, and but we did it in style, man. I think it was a Pontiac. We came out here.
A step up from a Chevy.
Man, the Pontiac, man. Picked us up in Memphis and brought us to California in a Pontiac, man. It was like, wow.
Mykelti.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Steve, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
I enjoyed this. Thank you.
Still Here Hollywood is a production of the Still Here Network. All things technical run by Justin Zangerly. Theme music by Brian Sanishin. And executive producer is Jim Lichtenstein.